The Bostonian is Matt Perrault.
This is our city.
The book is Dave Sherapan.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
Together, they are The Bostonian versus The Book.
You covered 12! I covered!
Follow the show on Twitter at Boston versus The Book.
How do you like them apples?
Bringing you the best insight on sports betting news, Matt and Dave's daily picks, and an entertaining and unfiltered dive into the sports betting industry. Here's Dave Sherapan and Matt Perrault.
And here we go.
What's up, boys and girls? How are you? Welcome into a Thursday afternoon episode of the Bostonian versus the Book. He's Dave Sherapan. I'm Matt Perrault. He's in Vegas. I am about 45 minutes to an hour and 5 minutes, depending on traffic, away from the site of the sports world. Everyone's eyes, including this show, will be focused on the four nations with Team USA and Team Canada playing tonight. We are live on YouTube and Twitter at Boston versus the Book. The same replayed on Sports Grid TV each and every night, including Sirius XM channel 159. I would have been dead on wrong picking your outfit for today, Dave. I thought for sure you were coming in full hockey regalia. What's up? Braves gear? We're doing baseball?
No, it's an A.
What's the A?
It's a Braves hat, and it's red, white, and blue.
Okay.
So it'll work right now for America, you know, little America hat.
America.
And I had the blue
America.
shirt on.
All right.
But, you know, it's the Globetrotter shirt, which, I mean, circus basketball returns tonight for the NBA. Don't come at me, Marcus. I'm just saying.
Well, Wembanyama's done for the year, so
It's crazy. You know, just saw that information on the way home. I was like, wow, all right. But started off the morning good today, dropped off my heart monitor that I've been wearing for 3 days. Doc,
good.
you know, every few months says you got to put this on, make sure your ticker's good. I said, oh, we got to take that thing off on Thursday. That's perfect timing because tonight it's going to be unbelievable. I can't wait. I've been all night long, just last night. You know, my favorite thing about today is really not a favorite thing. It's about a guy who was the voice of my youth passing, Mike Lang. But I've been hockeying out all morning. I can't wait. I can't believe the game is 5 hours away. And
what do you mean? Yeah, it's 5 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a long time. I mean, I'm ready. I'm ready. I might go public skate after this.
Oh, wow.
After we get done, I might just go and just skate it out for 2 hours to get ready for in-game live later. I tried to get off. I said, no, you got to take a shift. So it'll be me and Wet Swan tonight during the game. Don't ask me about college basketball tonight. That's you.
We'll cover that later. But what do you make? And the games tonight suck. So we
tough list tonight.
You're
I got the sheet.
There's
and I went,
ranked,
woo.
There's one ranked team playing tonight, and it's not a good game. But
Aye.
Marcella Under just said he was late because he was watching Miracle. What is your favorite? What's the best hockey movie? And what do you consider Strange Brew? Is Strange Brew a hockey movie?
It is, but I mean, it's not. I don't put it in the list. So, I mean, we got to go all the way back to Slapshot to start off hockey movies. Youngblood.
Yep.
That's one. Obviously, Miracle. Mystery Alaska.
That's a deep cut. That's
highly
a deep
underrated.
cut. Yep.
Highly underrated. Let's see.
Slapshot, and it's not even close.
Yeah, Slapshot is so good.
Slapshot is really good, but I'm gonna go with Vinny here. I saw things for the first time in that movie. So that movie had a lot of
that one left an impression. There were a couple things.
That one in Roadhouse both left quite an impression on a developing young man.
Yeah. Tea with Miss McGill. Yeah. That was that.
Snake the River. Wow, we're going real deep cut with that one.
Hockey heads, put it in the chat.
No, okay, there it is. Listen, no one's saying Mighty Ducks.
Mighty Ducks was fun. That was fun, but I mean,
I can't put like best movie of all time. Like I can't put like Angels in the Outfield in the same conversation as The Natural, or as Field of Dreams. So like there's like movies that have like nice, they're fun. They're baseball or hockey movies, and like they serve their purpose, but they don't get elevated to like the best ever. Like I'm not rewatching those movies every time going, oh my gosh, this is a miracle. This is amazing. It's not like Miracle. You put on Miracle and okay, there's a great question. Where do you put the cutting edge? That is not a hockey movie, Kristen. I'm sorry. That is not a hockey movie. That is a figure skating movie.
Correct.
For a hockey player that turned into a figure skater.
Correct.
That's not a hockey movie. That's not a hockey movie.
Yeah.
But it does have still one of the best lines of all time that everyone says. And kids, if you ever hear toe pick, that's where that is from. That's that line. Toe pick.
No question.
I say it to Maddie all the time. Toe pick.
Yeah, I can't think of too many other ones off the top of my head.
So Ice Guardians is one. Goon is another.
Yeah, and Goon is not bad. It's you have to be immersed in the hockey culture. Sudden Death, good call, Vinny Konowinski. One of my misses in life was supposed to be an extra for that movie and be on the ice.
Really?
Skating. Yeah, my buddies got it. I couldn't get off of work and get down there. So they all did it. And it's funny when I watched that movie the first time, I was like, man, there's Hugh Felder. There's Chris. I'm watching them. They're dressed in Penguin uniforms. And I was supposed to do it and blew it. But that's a hockey movie, I guess. Sudden Death fan.
Guys, come on. There's Happy Gilmore's not. It's not a hockey movie. It's a golf.
He was a hockey player, but it's not a hockey movie.
He's wearing a Bruins jersey, which is awesome. Which, by the way, Adam Sandler's elementary school is literally 100 yards from where I'm sitting.
Oh, really?
Where he went to elementary school. His parents' house is a quarter mile from where I'm sitting.
You still live there?
Yeah, they still live there. People go and drop things off all the time in their mailbox. Yeah, his parents still live there. And Adam Sandler will be seen at times. It's Webster Elementary. And he'll be seen playing pickup basketball with the kids at the elementary school when he's home. He'll just go down there because it's literally across the street from his parents' house.
Oh, my.
And they live in the same house. They haven't left. Like it's a very unassuming elementary school. I don't know. It's a great question. Is it the one from Billy Madison? I don't think they shot it because Amanda would have told me because Brooks goes there. So Amanda would have told me if Billy Madison was shot at that elementary school. So my guess is no.
Oh.
But I know he based a lot of those characters and scenes from Webster Elementary where he went, which is here in Manchester.
Huh.
right across. Like literally when you walk out the door, you take a left and you go, I don't know, 50 yards and the elementary school was right there. So he is a great human being.
Jimmy Football put in the chat that to Chevy P. He has the 76 Canada Cup on a 6 DVD set, Hull and Orr.
Wow.
Both played. So I mean that's a good like prep work hockey thing to watch. If you guys have a couple hours or just whatever, go find the 1987 Canada Cup. The deciding game was Canada and Russia, the Soviets. It's the best hockey I've ever seen in my life. And it is the NHL players. They played this thing in September before the season. So everybody said yes.
Wow.
And back then, everybody was everybody. And that was literally the best international hockey ever seen in my life. I won't spoil the ending, but Canada wins. And Lemieux gets a goal from Gretzky. That the call from Dan Kelly is just it gives you goosebumps now. So that'll be good prep work for tonight. I think the game is going to be great.
Let's get into the game. So Four Nations final tonight in Boston. Team USA, Team Canada. It's a pick, -110 both sides. Total's 5.5. What do you make of? And there were some comments that have been made about does this game carry more weight because of what's going on in the country, in the world right now? Because Miracle in Lake Placid was being, that was a hockey game, but it was more than a hockey game. That was about Russia and the United States. That was about ways of life. That was about communism and capitalism. That was about democracy and the things that Americans stood for in Russia and what they were standing for. I mean, I grew up in an era and kids, this really did happen, but like we hated the color red because that was Russia. Like everything was USA, Russia. Every bubble hockey, you went into an arcade and a bubble hockey was USA against Russia.
Yep.
We were red, white, and blue, and they were red. Rocky IV with Drago and
Yep.
him wearing the American trunks. Like, it wasn't. It was more Vietnam with Rambo, but it had like a Russian tinge to it with Rambo. And, he was the American warrior fighting against oppression and that part of the world. Does that factor in tonight? Because, I mean, if you look at the headlines going on around the world, this is from the Toronto Star this morning. I mean, they are, I don't want to say they're stoking the flames of this stuff, but politics and sports set to collide as Canada-U.S. meet in the Four Nations final. Sports and politics will collide tonight in Boston as arch rivals Canada and the United States compete in the final of the Four Nations face-off. Is this more than a hockey game?
To some people, it might be. To me, it's not. Is it?
I mean, it's Canada. It's not it's our friends. Like I know there's a lot that's gone into this, and I know our president is trying to annex Canada, and that's pissed off Canada. That, calling them the 51st state is making them really pissed off and mad. And I know we work with folks who are from Canada, and they're like, what the hell is your country trying to do? We're not joining your country. So I get the Canadian side of things, but this has almost been on like the U.S. side of things. Like we've seen people who on the U.S. side have said, this is why our boys dropped the gloves as fast as they did, because it's more than hockey. This means more. And I'm like, I don't know if I agree with that.
I don't know if it does to anyone in that locker room on either side. I mean, they're trying to win the hockey game. Yeah. Now, what piles on from the outside noise and outside stuff, maybe it is to some people. Private Jim Rat just popped in the chat and said, I'm up in Canada, was talking to my brother yesterday. We're okay with becoming the 51st state if we lose this game.
If we lose the game.
That's what's at stake.
If you
Private
lose.
Jim Rat,
right. If you lose. Yeah.
I just want to see the hockey game. And it's crazy because.
Does it mean more to them? Because the 3 most watched hockey games in America in 2024 of the 24-25 season for the NHL have been the 3 games involving Team USA in the Four Nations. 4.4 million watched last Saturday night. It's the most watched hockey game so far in 2024-25 was Team USA, Team Canada.
Perfect night for it. No competition, right? I mean, whatever that was with the NBA wasn't keeping people.
Lowest rating in 5 years.
The game started right as far as a moment to grasp the casual fan. The first 15 minutes was up and down, and like even the goal from McDavid, U.S. got behind, and now you're really locked in. So I don't know if it means more there, here.
It does mean more there. There's no debating.
They got a lot of pressure. I mean, there's
no debating.
Those players
yes,
want to win that for so many different reasons.
They haven't won the cup since 1992. You can't lose country competitions to the United States. Can't. Like, it's their sport. It's their thing. Losing in Montreal was bad enough. Losing tonight, oh my.
Right? It's going to be going to be one of those ones where, I don't know, Chevy P's in the chat, means more to us Canadians because it is our national sport. If we don't win it, it's considered a failure.
100%. 100%. This is all or nothing for them. They lose this game tonight, Canadians. I mean, not that you can't go back home again, but you can't lose this game if you're Team Canada. You can't lose this game.
I mean, if they play, they play balls to the wall and lose 2-1 or 3-2, they can't lose. Like, USA is that good and has the goalie. It could be that good.
The dogs are barking.
Coming down.
No, it's right. Right. She put the dog in, and dog didn't get. The dog wasn't having it.
Okay.
Dogs are barking for tonight.
All right.
It's not a small dog either.
Man.
Ninja and Nemo are easy. That dog's got to bark.
Yeah.
You can rip paint off the wall. I think what's going to be the most fun.
Here's Ian Lights Out. Look, he said he was listening to another pod. It really won't have any implications, and everyone will forget it in a week. Ian,
totally disagree.
I think they'll forget it by Saturday.
I don't think that's true at all. Not in Canada. We will in America. We'll move on quick.
Win or lose?
Win or lose, we'll move on quick. Win or lose, this is not a major staying event. No one's going to talk. We'll talk about the fighting, how cool it was. We'll talk about if a guy has a tremendous performance, but we'll go right back to watching our teams and being, fans of our teams. In Canada, there will be, big questions. Coaches will get fired. Selection of players will be questioned. The way they're developing their players will be questioned. Should Crosby have been on the team at 37 years of age? Was he too old? What happened to the goaltending? What happened to the physicality? Like all those questions. Canada will do a deep dive on themselves the way we won't. Like we're angry right now about Charlie McAvoy and whether or not the doctors did right by him with his injury against Finland in the first game, where he clearly took a shot for the second game to play against Canada and it got infected. So what was the needle? Where did they shoot the needle? He got out of the hospital today and he basically started tweeting about and posting pictures saying free at last. So they had him in the hospital for 4 days dealing with a staph infection that the doctors or Team USA gave Charlie McAvoy. That's a bigger story after this than I think than the game is, because it impacts the Bruins and what will happen going forward in the NHL season. But for Canada, this is a big deal. Like all the pressure's on Canada.
Give the boys and girls, the live audience, again, thank you guys for being here. Give them a poll to vote on right now. Who wins this game? I was going to say who is more pressure on, but you're making a good case for more pressure being on Canada. I would argue. I don't know. I would argue that the U.S. has their shot and they've already won. I would argue that they're playing,
but it's 1-1 then.
Pressure.
It's 1-1 then.
But the only one that matters is the last one.
Correct, but you can say like, "Hey, you won there, we won here. Let's do it again in a couple of years for the Four Nation and go and play it again and have a rubber match." Like, I think Team USA is playing with house money.
Man, oh man!
Tonight, I think the building's going to be ridiculous. I think it's going to be a ton of excitement and energy. Yeah, I think there's more pressure on Canada. I really do. I'm with you on Sean. And yeah, Addison, you know what? Great point. Hockey is the beneficiary of this. Hockey does wind up winning. I'll give you that.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. It's been great having non-hockey fans be talking about hockey. Like some sports are like, oh, they don't know anything about that. Why are they talking about that? Blah, blah, blah,
right.
blah, blah. More people talking about it, the better. I saw
Agreed.
a clip today. PK Subban went on First Take today and said, you know what? Hockey players care. Like, I want players that care. I'm tired of making players great that don't want to be great. Great players play. He said, I don't care how long your career is. I want the best 10 of your years. You play 20 years, but you half-ass it for 10. I don't want that. He said a lot of things that I think the common fan was saying. Big Sis Lisa's saying something here. Remember, in the real world, a Rocky IV exhibition bout turned into a bloody massacre as Apollo Creed got KO'd at the hands of Ivan Drago. Rocky's an unbelievable series. I mean, you're right, Big Sis Lisa.
It's good stuff.
This isn't going to be a massacre.
No, but it could be a war. I mean, it could be an absolute war between these two teams. The physicality is going to be off the charts. The energy is going to be electric. Team USA is trying to figure out what to do with replacing McAvoy. They thought they had a guy to play. Now they can't. So it was all supposed to be an exhibition. This game as well is supposed to be an exhibition. You're right.
That's the line from Rocky 3.
Yeah.
Supposed to be an exhibition. Yeah. Nobody
not.
told them. Nobody told them. It's not. This is going to, again, it's going to be great. The first period. We'll know again in the first 5 minutes.
Well, they haven't led after the first period in this entire tournament. They've either been tied or trailing in every first period, and they haven't scored first yet in any game they've played. So is Team USA, if they get the lead tonight, is that the key to victory? Jump on them quick?
Oh, I don't know. No. I don't think there's a sneaky good bet on, and I was sitting at the doctor's office just waiting, and I was scrolling through the app just to see what was available for tonight at Caesars here. And it had like game result and score or something like.
Okay.
So you can bet USA to win and both teams to score.
Oh, yeah.
Yes or no.
Yeah. Okay.
And then you can bet Canada to win and both teams to score.
In the game, not the period.
Just you could do it in the first period, and you can do it in the game. So this is when I got the email, and I was like, "Oh, this first period thing is interesting," because I bet this in the game Saturday.
Yeah, right.
And I
We
bet
talked
this
about it on the
Monday,
show.
right, on the show
Yeah.
with Sweden and or Finland and Canada. Anyhow, it was it's plus money for both. So it's like plus 185 and plus 195. So as long as there's not a shutout, you can have it, and then you can in-game it as well. And already started plus 185 and plus 195. And I was like, all right.
Is that wrong? Is that price wrong?
I don't know. I'm just saying, I'm putting it out there. Guys, check your Caesars app, wherever state you're in, if you have it. I don't think anybody's shutting anybody out tonight.
I would agree.
But I don't know I don't think it's vital that either team is leading in the first period.
Fair. I agree. I don't know if Team USA will, to be honest with you. I'm not sure. A couple of things. One, football guy. This is awesome. I'm glad you got into hockey because of us. Hershey Bears play some pretty good minor league hockey. So that's pretty good. So that's exciting.
I've been to that arena twice. If it's the same arena, I don't know. But that's football guy 97, Rob. Spoke to him for the first time on the phone last week. Talked to him about coaching a daughter and all this other stuff. Go enjoy that game. That's a really cool venue. And if that game is hyped, that building is a buzzing. Like it is. Awesome. You feel it in the building. Hopefully you get a good game out of that.
Brian wants to know about Bruce Cassidy, who I went and checked. When I saw Bruce Cassidy on the Canadian bench on Saturday, I went, wait, hold on a second. Because Bruce Cassidy famously took the Stanley Cup after he won the Stanley Cup and went to Cape Cod and had a full-blown party on Cape Cod.
Yeah.
He's the former coach of the Bruins. So I thought he had some ties to Cape Cod. I was like, why would he go to Cape Cod? No, that's just where his house was while he coached the Bruins. And It was a complete bleep you to the Boston Bruins to go throw that party. So he's from Canada. And I didn't realize that Bruce Cassidy is from Canada. So him being in the building, yes, there's going to be some extra juice from Bruins fans with Bruce Cassidy being in the building behind the bench. Not the head coach, but he's still behind the bench for Team Canada. 100%.
It's pretty cool that, on that list of most games watched, you see the Vegas-Boston game was like third or fourth?
Fourth, yep.
Yeah.
It was the number one NHL game of the year.
Right.
1.25 million people watched that back in December.
And again, that may have been timing,
right?
But that also
it was ABC too. It was broadcast. Correct. It was not cable. It was right. It was on.
It wasn't streaming, and it wasn't. It was on regular TV, which again, still is an important thing.
Mm-hmm.
Some people will tell you it's not. That's fine. But the Knights have a real presence in this game. Between Cassidy on a bench there, the Knights players that are playing, Eichel's getting a point tonight.
Oh,
I think Eichel's going to get a point tonight. Eichel has been a really key cog in the Knights' success, but you can see how much ice time he's been getting on this team. And if they put him between the Tkachuk brothers, let alone on the first line of the power play, I think he's going to get a point tonight. So I can't wait, man. I've been hyped all damn morning. I've been like, man, I feel like I'm ready to play. I know in high school when we had a game, when it was game day, we started it that year, my senior year. I was like, we're wearing our jerseys to school. I don't care. So everyone knows we have a game. And then, wear it with pride, keep it clean, and then that'll get you in the mood. Like we showed up to the rink so ready to play. That's the way I feel like right now. I cannot wait to watch the game. I already told the girls, like, listen, I got to be on TV. But like, it starts today for me as soon as we're done. I'm not kidding. I might go skate for an hour and a half just to get in that mode.
Right.
Pumped.
The total, 5.5. So I'm fading Jordan Binnington tonight. I do not believe the Canadian goaltender is going to have a good game tonight. I'm not a fan of his at all. Over or under 5.5. Butchie, I think, is using 4.5. I saw He's in 4.5
with big juice. He's letting them go over. 3-1 final again. I don't know if we're getting an empty netter, though. This thing might go to overtime. This thing might be it's going to be so good. It might be 2-1 or 3-2. I really like the under. I don't know. We got Eron Sean over. Brian T under. Sonic the Wrench, I'd go under. Put it in the chat, boys, right now. 4-2 you like. So you'd go over 5.5.
I think Team USA is getting 4 goals tonight. I think everybody's running to Canada. Everyone's running to bet Canada too fast. Everyone's on Canada. It's automatic Canada. Canada's the automatic bet. Bet Canada. I'm Ross. I'm with you.
Ross likes over.
USA scores 4.
Butchie says USA.
My favorite bet in the game is Team USA team total over.
2.5 or 3?
Yeah, 2.5. Minus 130.
That's a good bet.
That's my favorite bet in the game. Is if Team USA to score 3 goals. And I might need an open net to get there.
Right.
But I think, yeah, it hinges on Binnington. Yes, I would agree with you, Rob. It hinges on Binnington. Yeah, I don't think we're going that crazy. 6-4. I don't think we're getting that type of game. That'd be a little surprising if we go that crazy.
That would be, I don't know. I'm glad I'm not wearing the heart monitor. 6-4.
Hellebuck's giving up 4 goals. I mean, or 6 goals, one of the two. I don't know. I mean, Hellebuck, he needs to be the best player on the ice for Team USA, and he has been so far. If he can be the best player on the ice.
Well, I don't know if he does. I think he just needs to make all the saves. He doesn't. I don't know if he needs to be the best player on the ice. I think the USA defense has to be the best players on the ice. Like, they have to limit everything, because I don't know if the Canada's changing the lines or what, but it's going to be very different. I think the way they started the game, they kind of put Canada on their heels. Canada got that first goal,
right,
and then it leveled off. I feel like Canada's going to play a lot more aggressive tonight.
Can somebody put a APB out on Austin Matthews? Like, where is the best American? He hasn't scored 8 goals in 8 games. Like, where is this guy? Like, Austin Matthews, can you please show up? Because we know McDavid's going to show up, right? And if it's not him, it's going to be McKinnon. They got 2 big guns. USA's got 1. The Tkachuk brothers are physicality. They obviously have skill, but they're not like Austin Matthews. I need Austin Matthews to score. I need Austin Matthews to do something. I know it's Toronto Maple Leaf hockey in Boston. They suck there, but come on, do something. Do something in Boston, please.
It's the style of play. Like, I think, oh, wow, Linus Matthews is allergic to the big moment. That's a guy in Toronto saying that.
He's not wrong.
Yeah.
Fine. The best American's Jack Eichel, Gordon. I'm not going to knock you, but the best pure goal scorer for Team USA is Austin Matthews.
I don't think it's that type of game. Sometimes, and Austin Matthews is tremendous, but this is that physical where there's no space type game, and you got to be in that type of mode to play. I don't know if he is. Again, wow, first goal tonight for Matthews, Bomber. 9-1. Holy crap.
Okay. Pump the brakes.
Come on, tomorrow. Be the first one to remind us that on Roll Call Friday.
Matthews is secretly rooting for Canada.
That's not right. That's not right, CBW. Come on. I don't know. So I just glanced at the schedule on Saturday. Yeah. Saturday, February 22nd, there's 14 NHL games. We're going to go from this to Seattle and Florida. Carolina at Toronto.
But the players know that, Dave.
At the Kings.
The problem, the players know that. The players know that when they leave this game and they go to back to their respective arenas, all anyone's going to talk about is this game. They're not going to talk about the Saturday game. They're going to talk about this game. They're going to walk back in their locker room getting dabbed up by the guys going, nice job, or like, what the hell happened? Like, they're representing the country. So Canadians are going to go back and be like, I've been laughing. Like Brad Marchand, if he wins this game, he's going to go back to the Bruins locker room and go play. And Bruins fans are going to love the guy still. But
he's going to chirp. There's no.
They're going to be like,
gonna walk in
he's
that
going
locker room and go,
he's going to say his piece. You know, he's going to talk. And he's going to talk in the media. And he's going to talk and like, you know, playing for Canada and
most likely. And for guys like that, I mean, next year we get the Olympics,
Right.
so hopefully we get another year of the really good older players playing. And this isn't the last time, but for a couple of them, this might be their last international. Which, you know, you're going from that to like the Canucks are here on Saturday night in Vegas. It's Canucks and Knights. Okay, that's a big game, I guess, but nothing compares to this. I don't even know. So on social media, they're doing the miracle thing. Like,
yeah,
this has
everybody's
nothing
playing.
to do with miracle.
Really?
No, it's a different thing. Like, and I love the Herb Brooks speech. You know. Great moments come from great opportunities.
But okay, so you don't
tonight
see,
we're the best hockey team in the world.
There's no
I almost know the speech.
So do you know, are you saying it doesn't exist because this is a bunch of college kids going to play the Russian, you know, machine, and that's why it's not the same?
Yeah.
Because Micah Ruzioni is from Boston, so this game's being played in Boston. So the guy that scored the miracle on ice, do you believe in miracles? Yes, you know, game-winning goal was Micah Ruzioni. We're in his hometown.
I like the fact that it's in Boston. That's pretty cool. But yeah, it's a different. I mean, who's the Russians in the miracle analogy?
Canada is.
What?
Yes, Canada is the Russians.
It's a pick'em game. Like
I know, correct. Yes,
if the line on the game was this, like was Russians USA, Russians would have been 20-1 favorites
because they were. But it's still USA. No matter how much talent we have, and we have a lot of talent, we have the better goaltender. It's still Canada. It's still McJesus. It's still McKinnon, and it's still a power play that features Sidney Crosby. Like it's still a power play when they come over the boards. Sorry, Will. It's like, oh shit.
Oh.
it's like, look who's like. It's got to be. I don't care if you play in the NHL or not. Like when that power play comes over the boards, it's got to go like everyone's like, yeah, we're in trouble. We got to play really well. Can't be sloppy with the puck. Can't take it easy.
I don't think it's fair, the amount of weight on Connor McDavid's shoulders, but like he's got it all. Like they have to win so he can, because he hasn't won a cup yet, and they're waiting for Canada to bring back the cup, and he's got the best team and the best guy to do it is him, and blah, 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 blah. This will at least buy him some time until the spring in the playoffs for the Oilers. But the amount, and he's been great. It's not been him. Like he's getting hit. He's getting back up. He's scoring goals, you know, all of this stuff. It's just, again, I hope you hockey heads that aren't hockey heads enjoy this.
Crosby's not
Crosby playing during the miracle? No. No.
Been around for a while. He's been around for
not that long, Addison.
He's 37, not 67.
Yeah.
He's old, but he's not that old. You know, there's a lot going into this game that I think is on ice and off ice. I think that there's going to be an impact on people watching hockey going forward. And I think you're right, Dave, that on Saturday, when folks who like Football Guy, who've been turned on to hockey, may go and turn on a local game in the NHL and go, wait, this isn't the same intensity. This is not the same thing. You know, and they may be left a little bit lacking or a little bit wanting until we get to the playoffs. So like I would tell anybody who's not a hockey fan who watches this game tonight to say, look, you're not going to get this level of hockey again until the spring, but this is what playoff hockey looks like. This is what, you know, actually trying how good these guys are when they're full force and full go. It's unbelievable. NHL playoffs will have this type of excitement and energy. It just will take a little while to get
every
there.
night for 2 months. Yeah. Every single night for 2 months. It's like this. It's the best thing. I love it. It's my favorite time of year.
Jimmy Burke, look at the avatar and the threat to Dave.
Wow, Jimmy Burke 13. Dave, if you wore a Canadian hat today, I swear to God, I'm not wearing it today. Jimmy, don't come at me. Thanks, brother. I got it over there. I'm not wearing it today. I'm not. All right, I wore the Toronto Blue Jays stuff yesterday.
Look
I'm good with
Robert.
That.
We haven't seen Robert.
It is hard to bet against Captain Canada number 87. Train, you're right. Train and I were texting late last night about the passing of Mike
if you're
Lang.
a Pittsburgh fan, I mean, this is a little difficult, is it not?
It's a
I mean,
little bit torn. I'm not
right?
gonna lie. I love seeing Sid do well, and love. He's just been that guy for so long, and he don't even want to leave. Like, he wants to see this thing all the way to the end with one team because it's Pittsburgh. So, all of that said, when that anthem starts tonight, and the Canadian
one?
national anthem will be first, and then the American national anthem after. You know what I would do? And I saw this. Somebody tweeted it. I hope Boston sings it.
They will. They
loud,
will. They will.
proud, every word. I
Yep.
know the word. I used to sing it to the kids.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
used
Canada.
to sing "Oh Canada" to the kids because I knew the words.
Yeah.
And
I don't think Boston will boo the Canadian national anthem. I'd be very surprised if they booed the Canadian national anthem.
Oh, I
Be
hope
very surprised.
everybody standing hats off, singing it loud. It'll give me goosebumps talking about it. I'm more excited to see the anthem than the first shift. I cannot
Fair.
wait.
Yeah, and I think the American anthem will be ridiculous. I think when the U.S. anthem will be electric. Everybody in the building will be singing it. It'll be awesome. I really hope that Team USA, I don't think they can't really say anything, but I hope there's like an announcement or something to like, hey guys, like, let's just show respect here and let's not copy Canada. Like, let them do the hate, let them boo the anthem. That's them, not for us. Because mostly, even when Bruins and Canadian games are happening in the playoffs, I've been in the building for game 7s where the Boston crowd has sung "Oh Canada" for the playoffs. That's for a Montreal Canadian team, which is the arch rival of everybody. So yeah, I disagree, JPC. I disagree with you. Boston's a lot of things, but I don't think Boston will be like looking to goon out. The fans will be looking to take out Canadians tonight and see a Canadian hat and like go at them physically.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. That's not, there's a lot of people, like, for starters, the ticket prices are so expensive that you're going to, the goon element's going to be few and far between tonight. Like, this is an expensive ticket. No one's going to want to get thrown out of this game tonight. They're going to want to see this.
Definitely not worth it.
Yeah. So it's
definitely not worth it.
So I would be surprised. I'd be surprised. Boston loves hockey. It's a hockey. I mean, this is a hockey town. This is a hockey region. And the Beanpot is in Boston. BU, BC, Harvard Northeastern. That tournament has been going on for so long for a reason. Like, there is a lot of hockey that gets played here on pond hockey, and Lake Winnipesaukee has pond hockey tournaments. Like, there's a big hockey culture here, and a lot of it is from Canada. I mean, my family is French Canadian. My family came down from Quebec and settled here. On my dad's side, like, there's a lot of people who have deep Canadian ties who are from New England. That, like, it's hard to hate where you're from. Like, we're from French Canada, so it's a little weird to be like, beat the crap out of them and pound the crap out of them. It's different than in other sports, just because we respect and we have hockey in the blood. So I would not expect much from any of that. Yes.
Have you paid any attention to the local news?
Yes.
Like, is there a palpable buzz locally with this? Like, they've embraced it and know that the whole world is watching.
We're all stuck indoors. No one's gone anywhere.
Because it's been so
Arctic.
cold.
They were handing out the lead story in this app, because Emerson was putting it out in Boston. They handed out like 800 tickets in Boston to people who didn't remove the ice in front of their walkways in Boston over the last 2 days.
Speeding ticket? You mean?
Yeah,
like
they walk out. You are responsible for removing the ice on your walkway. So they're getting tickets in Boston like crazy because of all this. So yes, people
what's
are.
The
there's a palpable
interest.
interest.
What's the violation with it?
You didn't clean off the ice. Ice. You didn't
Is
clean
that a
the ice
fine?
off. Yes, it's a finable offense in the city
Like
of
a
Boston.
speeding violation?
Yes. Fine. For not cleaning off ice. Let's see what the official word is. Up to $200. In Somerville, it's $300.
What?
Yeah. So hundreds of tickets have been issued.
Damn, bro.
Hundreds have been issued. Up to $300 for not removing ice in front of your walkway.
Ain't that something? I mean, you got to get outside and get that ice off of there. Otherwise, you're going to cost a deuce.
And it's incredibly difficult. As somebody who did it at Amanda's, because the ice melts and then freezes, I had to take literally an axe And I was whacking ice off her driveway, trying to get the ice to come up, and I could not get all of it. And that was before the last 10 inches of snow that fell. So people have been stuck in their houses for a week. So people have been talking about this and watching this. And Saturday night, everyone was huddled around their TV sets watching it. We did here, and we're going to do it again tonight. So like everyone is so jacked up and excited to watch this game tonight because you can't go anywhere. It was 13 degrees this morning when I walked outside. 13 degrees air temp.
Wow.
Okay. It is freezing cold here in New England, Arctic cold. So it's perfect for people who are looking for something to do, who are inside and want to watch a hockey game. And, it's here. So yes, they're leading the news with it. It's the front story.
Okay.
Everyone's super excited about it. And I mean, there are Bruin players who are involved. The McAvoy story is not going over all that well. Like, people are really mad about that, because he's going to be out for months, and that's really pissed off a lot of Bruins fans.
Just looked up in the chat, and Ian Lights Out said, my friend here in New York City slipped and broke her ankle in front of a warehouse in Brooklyn. She got $100K.
Believe it.
I guess it's why you better shovel that ice.
And so the other thing is salt and de-icing chemicals in New England can't be found. Everyone's out. So you can't find it. So people are going to hardware stores and they're like, hey, where's the salt? Don't have any. Hey, where's the de-icing? Don't have any. It's like COVID all over again with toilet paper. Like, it's gone. Nobody has anything at all on this.
That's terrible.
Yeah, terrible. So it's dangerous. So like you're doing it.
My dad used to buy the salt in September.
Smart. Off season.
Up. Yeah. And I remember unloading it and putting it in the shed that we had and going, why, Dad? Why? He was always prepared for stuff like that. Man,
the
salt
stolen with the eggs.
Man, what?
Yeah. So that's true. That's why you live in an apartment building. Absolutely. But if you have a house,
hey, what's up?
If you have a house, I live in an apartment building. You have a house, you're responsible for cleaning off the ice. And there's hundreds of tickets being written around New England for people who are not cleaning the ice off in front of their properties, and people are slipping and falling and getting hurt, and you're responsible if that person gets hurt on your property. So like here, I don't know what's going on in the country, because I am tomorrow at 5:30 Eastern, I'm on a plane back to Vegas, and when I land, it's gonna be 60 degrees, and I'm gonna feel like I just stepped into a different time, like warp, going to 60 degrees, because it's been so cold here.
It literally is one of the nicest days of the entire year here today.
This weekend's gonna be 75 degrees. I've told Amanda, I'm like, I'm going back to 75 degrees.
Yeah, it's perfect.
She's like, you're doing what? I'm like, it's 75 in Vegas. Like, going back to like
there's
beautiful.
No wind. Knock on wood. There's no wind. It's perfect.
So, and that's February,
and I had to turn the AC on in the car. And I was like,
totally.
We're back, baby. We're back.
And it feels like Hoth outside. You're absolutely right. I don't know what is going on here in the East Coast, up and down the East Coast, all the way down to like South Carolina. Like, this is not.
Oh yeah.
This is not just like one part of the country
Texas
that we're dealing with.
Was under
Texas
ice today.
freezing.
Like Dallas is frozen.
13 degrees. It was 13. I was watching. So our boy Debro was like, I live in Dallas. This is not what Dallas is supposed to be in February. 13 degrees.
Cold. Yeah.
Like, what is going on? So it'll get out of here eventually. But right now it is brutally cold, which is good for the ratings and good for people.
Will be good
in hockey.
People will be watching.
They're stuck inside and they're going to watch this game tonight. So who wins? Who are you taking?
I really hope the U.S. wins, but I'm leaning right now Canada's going to win.
Me too. I think you're right. I hope I'm wrong. I mean, I'm on both sides. I have plus 170 Canada. I have minus 110 USA. Yep. So I laid 1.3 units. I bet a little extra on Team USA. So either I win 4.4 or win 0.2.
Yep.
So anyway, I win more. If Canada wins, I win more. So if Canada wins, that's fine. But I'm really excited to see if Team USA can win this. This will be a really cool thing for Team USA.
I like under. I think I'm gonna bet that at the beginning of the game again, and then we'll see if
play off of
the
it.
game it.
Get a quick goal.
If I can get the 3 and the 4 and the 5 work in the middle,
okay,
like we did the other day, under 7.5, under 6.5, under 5.5, and then I went over 4.5, trying to get the 5, 6, 7 working.
Yeah,
I finished 3-1, so didn't get the over bets, but all the under bets won. I'm gonna do the same thing.
We've talked a lot about Carson Beck and NIL money over the last couple of months on this show. I just thought I wanted to put this out here. Carson Beck had 2 cars stolen last night. One of them being a Lamborghini.
So why does he have 2 cars?
Great question. Why does he have a Lamborghini?
Well, I
He's
mean,
like-
he got the money, so he got a nice car. But like the text said, 2 cars.
Correct. He got 2 cars stolen last night.
Was he home?
No, they were asleep, I guess, or they weren't home. But his girlfriend, the Hannah Cavadier, the basketball player, she also had her car stolen too. So they stole 3 cars for them last night. But he's 20. I mean, this is a 22-year-old quarterback who transfers to Miami from Georgia, gets $4 million. I thought he had to get the money next year, not this year. But he had 2 cars stolen last night. One of which being a Lamborghini, which is like, okay, one's a Mercedes and one's a Lamborghini. They found her car. Her car got stolen and they found it. They haven't found Carson Beck's cars yet.
Right.
They're gone. It's just like, I don't know. I read it and I was like, I know he's a pro in a lot of ways, right? Because $4 million's a pro. I just don't know if I'm ready for a world in which college football players are going to be in the news because they've got this level of wealth in college, not the NFL.
Yeah, there's no more rules. There's no more normal. There's no more anything. The quarterback stayed in college, left Georgia, which was one of the best teams, went to Miami,
Got paid.
I don't know how good Miami's going to be. And there's a lot of questions about how even good Carson Beck is. But the guy's driving around, not 1 car, but has 2.
You
ain't finding that Lamborghini, bro. Good call, Vic.
Probably not.
You're right. Vic Ferrari says you're not finding that Lamborghini, bro. Is anybody ready? Like, what's the takeaway from this story? One, they're targeting athletes.
Well, yes, we know that. Yeah. And they caught a bunch of them.
Pro athletes. Like,
yeah, they caught a bunch of them already.
Their houses and stuff. But
and now, yeah, they just hit what's her name? The actress who's married to the country music singer. They hit her house last weekend and they weren't home. But it's everybody. They're stealing everyone's stuff at the moment. They're breaking in. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, like they've done Chris Middleton. So and they were so dumb that they posted a picture on social media and not let the cops go ahead and piece it all together as to finding out which ones, who they were and where they stole it from. So, but I mean, at 4 million, again, I don't understand. We're in a really weird world with the NIL situation at the moment. And like, I just saw that. I was like, he has a Mercedes, who's probably a G-Wagon, and a Lamborghini. Like, he's got $500,000 in cars, and he's 22, and he's a quarterback in college.
So, like Chicago Kristen said it in the chat right here, college should assign a financial advisor to these kids to help them for the future, not the here and now. The here and now is a Lamborghini,
bling,
and a Mercedes.
Yep.
The reality is, buy a new car, buy a nice car, but spend $75,000 on a nice car and stay low key, you dumbass.
Yep.
You don't need
to
drive around.
But his girlfriend's not low key. I mean, he's not dating someone who's low key.
Which is a whole nother lesson.
True.
That's a whole nother lesson, Carson. Reach out to me at SportsBK and Sig. We'll sit you down and give you the real lesson. You can tell me about all the other perks and all the other stuff, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about the truth. So calm down. You can buy a share of van. Those things, you can pack whatever you want in them. You could pimp them out inside. It ain't that expensive. You could really trick that out.
That's true. You're really good. Yeah.
Believe me, I'm saving.
What was that?
Once you get rid of it, I'm saving.
What was that show? Pimp My Ride?
Pimp My Ride.
On MTV?
Yeah. You could do all kinds of stuff with that. But somebody needs to tap Carson on the shoulder and say, what are you doing? We're at the Lamborghini dealership. Hold on. I'll be there in 5.
Stop.
Get there and say, let's go. We're leaving.
Right.
We're going to get a Toyota or, a Lexus.
I love her. Kristen's great.
The bigger the perks on the girlfriend, the more money you are spending. Chicago Kristen, You're on the consulting board. Okay.
Oh, that's
You can
great.
help. You can help with this. It's very important. Yes. Yes.
Tremendous. Gamblers don't have this kind of problem. No. I mean,
Well, they don't because they blow a lot of the money, but
or
get
they
the
stay
nice
low
cars.
key and they show up in flip flops and shorts and look
The
like a homeless
smart
person.
ones do. That's what we used to say in the book all the time. The guy that came in with all the bling and all that other stuff couldn't wait to take his bets. Just give us the money. It's the guy that comes in the ripped shorts and the
Flip flops.
newbie calls them the duct tape shoes, and the ripped hat from 1984, the Santa Anita Sportsbook. He's still wearing that same hat. The place has been out of business for 30 years. That's the guy you got to be worried about.
R.I.P. to Dink. That was the first time when we met Dink, and you were like, "That guy's amazing." I was like, "What?" He was like, "That guy knows what he's talking about." And he's
Yeah, he's doing a lot of things.
He had flip flops and shorts and long hair and ripped shirts, and I was like, "What?" He's like, "Oh yeah." He's like,
Hey, guy's got 300,000 in the trunk. He ain't got the shoes on, but he got like 300 grand in the trunk.
coming in to shut your lights out." So, what happened last night? Missouri took apart Alabama, smoked them by 12. I'm telling you, there's
100.
what?
They scored 100.
Yeah, Bama's got problems. I'm not high on Alabama at all. Come March,
Sorry, TJ. They ain't gonna. I mean, they play right now. They'll play on Thursday. They may only play one game in that tournament.
Well, they don't have any defensive acumen that really is transferable. Like their numbers are somewhat inflated. I don't buy a lot of their defensive metrics that say that they're good, because you saw what happened last night against Missouri. Missouri got to the rim at will, and then they hit threes. And once they got to the rim, they started to collapse and they kicked out, and those shots were falling. And look, winning on the road is incredibly hard. Missouri now is 17-1 straight up at home. They're going to be a formidable team that people haven't talked about because they're playing better. As the year is progressing, Missouri is playing better and Alabama's playing worse. So if I'm a fan of the Tide or I have a ticket on the Crimson Tide, I'm concerned about what I'm watching out of Nate Oates' team. They're starting to really slide for me. Back-to-back losses for the first time this year for Alabama, and I think more things are going to come for them, more problems. Kentucky, on their other hand, looked tremendous at home last night against Vanderbilt. They get the win, the payback. I mean, Kentucky in Nashville is going to be a formidable opponent. You'll see it, Dave. It'll be 2-1 Kentucky fans in that building for the tournament. They will take it over. It'll be blue.
Yeah.
It'll be big blue coming up tomorrow or next month rather.
I believe it. That was a good game by them last night. I watched a little bit of it. I didn't see a lot of it.
They're fun.
The line was an over adjustment, that's for sure. It was a little bit light.
And then Auburn was too heavy. Arkansas fought, lost by 7. They had a lead with 3 minutes to go. Arkansas was winning at Auburn, and they needed that damn game for their resume. They couldn't hit their free throws. 5 for 13 at the line at one point last night for Arkansas.
Going to be one of those situations, I think, that it's only going to help Auburn. Like, they need these games. They need these tests. They need these win instead of by 20 winning like this. So
that line was 16.5, Jimmy football.
What, Auburn?
Arkansas, yeah. It opened at 16.5. It came down.
I think it closed 15.
It was high. It was a high number.
I don't know.
It never came close to covering. They were in it the entire game. Sam Licata, what are you sitting on? 250-1 and 200-1 from Missouri to win it all? Oh my. Well, don't think they're going to, but there's some damn good value there on that, Sammy. That's a great ticket. That's 2 great tickets to be holding. You can do some work off that thing.
Let's see. That line closed 15 and 15.5. Yeah, either one.
Yeah.
For Auburn. That is good on Mizzou. I don't think they're going to win it all either, but
no,
it's give you options.
It's a good number.
Options, yeah.
This is pretty wild. We talked about expansion yesterday, right? So here are the first 8 teams that are projected out of the field of 68 by Sports Illustrated.
Okay.
Those 8 teams are a combined 13 for 63 in quad 1 games this year.
13 wins, 63 losses.
In quad 1 wins, in quad 1 games for the teams, the first 8 left out of the bracket projected by Sports Illustrated. The only one of those 8 that has a better than a 25% win percentage in quad 1 is UC Irvine, who is 1-0. They've played 1 quad 1 game, and they've won the only game that they have played. These are the teams that pro expansion people want to see dancing.
Okay.
It's a good
those
point.
pro expansion people can enjoy that in some other tournament.
Why are we playing around with this?
Why? We don't need to. We don't need to change anything. The drama is built in. The games are good. The rhythmic pentameter of the whole thing works.
And 68, you can make the case that 68 is too many. Well, you make the
I
case
agree.
You can make the case that we didn't need to play in tournaments. Like the 4 games that we're playing in Dayton are unnecessary, but since we have them, it's like, okay, fine, we'll suck on them and deal with it. We don't like it, but we'll deal with it. But we don't need them. We don't really have to have them, but we have them now, so fine, we'll play with them, and that's about it. I don't understand why we need
suck on them. I don't know if we're sucking on them.
We are. We have to. It stinks. It's not fun. We don't want to.
It's really
unfortunate.
We don't need them, but they're established, and Dayton
Yes.
has embraced it. Pause is right. All of you. Pause. I heard it. I had to repeat it.
Yes.
Make sure everybody was listening.
Yes.
Now I talked to B Howe yesterday after West Virginia won and said
Big win. Nice game. Watched it.
They were home. Yes. We were talking about getting in the tournament or not, and they're still on the bubble.
Yeah.
So he said he didn't even know about the Vegas thing until yesterday.
Oh, the Crown tournament, right?
Yes. When they were talking and saying how they had to win the night and then have to win the rest of their home games. They only got a couple. He said the good thing is if we don't get in, we come to Vegas. And he was like, what are you talking about, come to Vegas? The team won't exist in the current format. Like after they lose, like the seniors are just done. Like they're not playing them. Like, so he goes, we'll be a shell of ourselves.
Because all the kids will transfer.
Because of the quick, like we're done. Season's over. So I thought, okay. So now expansion will water that down even more in this situation.
Interesting.
I don't think we need any expansion. I'm gonna talk about it every time it comes up, bring it up. It's good the way it is. You're making things worse. You put more teams in. Okay. So you go and you play one game. Is that successful?
Your teams that will be sent to Dayton as of today, according to ESPN's bracket projection: San Diego State, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Wake Forest. The teams that are potentially going to fall to Dayton if they don't play well are Texas, West Virginia, BYU, and Vanderbilt. So West Virginia is still not safe. Like they get the win last night. They moved. They're now off of that bubble per se, but they're one loss for being right back on the bubble. So they got to be careful with what they're going to do the rest of the way. Did B Howe say anything about the rumors around D-Rock?
We didn't really talk about it. They're so focused on this season.
Fair. Okay.
So I said, have they heard the noise? He's like, we don't talk about it. He literally goes to practice and he watches film with them. He loves them. He's been immersed in the whole thing. If you did have West Virginia last night, -3.5, up 9 with 8 seconds to go, laying 3.5, and they win by 3.
Get hooked on that game.
It was arguably one of the worst beats that I've seen in college basketball all season. Talani's had it. Sorry, Brian T. I lost on the West Virginia -3.5. Pissed my Italian ass off in the last 10 seconds. You didn't even have to be Italian to get pissed off. That was a bad beat. Dave's Daily Picks. That will be on with Stanford Steve and SVP 100%. Yeah, it was terrible. They won the game.
Right.
They have the Utah swing in the first week of March.
Oh, gosh. Do they really?
So they have to play BYU and Utah
Not good.
on the road.
Not good.
And he, Bihal was saying that's the away games. They got to split if they can. He said, I don't think we're going to BYU and winning right now after what they just did to Kansas.
Okay. I'd be curious to see how that they have to beat BYU. I don't know if they have to beat BYU, but it would be good if they did. Obviously, it'd be good to get a win like that because that would be a quad one win, road win. Would look good on a resume for that. I don't think they have to win, but probably.
Did Illinois Chicago cover yesterday?
No, they got crushed. Drake killed them. Big win. Only game I got wrong last night was that game.
Is Drake that team
for the what? For the Valley?
Well, I mean, not just for the Valley. Like, can they make noise? No.
I don't know. Probably not. I mean, if they get the right matchup, if they play an undisciplined team that turns the basketball over, yes. But, I mean, their resume just isn't all that impressive. They're a really good Valley team. So they could win one game, maybe two. But, I mean, their best win this year, they beat Kansas State, which is decent. Their best wins over Kansas State. So it's not. They beat Vandy. Okay, I forgot they beat Vanderbilt. So that's their best win.
Okay,
so they beat Vandy on a neutral. They beat Kansas State in a semi-away game in Kansas City. They beat Kansas State down there. I don't know. I think matchups would determine. But look, 24-3 is 24-3. Like 24-3 is 24-3. Right. They can't beat Bradley. That is true. But that's a conference thing. That's not. That's a conference thing. Oh, look at Henry. We got Drake people in there.
What's up, Henry Ziegler? We can handle Bradley. Don't you worry.
Wow.
Now we're talking. I love when the people come in like this. Coming in hot, Henry.
All right, Drake fans. I like it a lot.
How about that, JPC? He was ready for you, right there.
NBA comes back tonight. We got 9 games. Let's take a look as we start the second half of the year at the World Championship NBA final bracket here.
Is that what that meant? World title market? What is that?
Yeah, World Championship, right. NBA Championship.
NBA Championship. Celtics,
Thunder, and then everyone else.
Right.
Is this going to be this? Are we going to see any movement here in your mind?
No.
This is it? This is the market? So isn't there major value on somebody else coming out of the West?
Correct.
Like there's major value looking at the Nuggets, look at the Laker market up to 18-1. It's the third choice in the West.
You see what they did last night?
Yeah, they laid a big old fat egg. Not egg, but they lost at the buzzer.
LeBron took a couple shots to win it too. Just couldn't hit them.
Got some numbers on that here in a second.
That's good to know. Who's going to win the West? Why isn't there value on teams to win the East?
Because there is, but you can.
Why? Say it.
You can bet against Boston. If you want to bet against Boston, go right ahead.
I don't really want to.
The windows are open. The books are going to go. Come on.
Yeah, I don't really want to.
The books are comfortable with anybody betting on
Cleveland.
Somebody else to get to the finals. It would be very surprising to see Boston not get back to the finals.
Cleveland's going to have the 1 seed, though.
They are, but Boston doesn't care about that.
They don't.
I mean,
so Boston's going to have to beat both the
Knicks.
When you get the 1 seed, you don't have to play the Knicks and the Cavs. So they're going to have the harder road. The 2-3 road is a lot harder than the 1 because who's the 4th seed? Who's the 4th choice in the East? Pull that graphic back.
4th choice in the East?
The 4th choice. Yeah, because it's Boston, Cleveland, Knicks, and then Milwaukee. I can't even say it without laughing.
Right.
Every other team on that list is a West Conference team.
Yeah. So come on. Like it's not.
Oh boy.
It's just not.
Yeah.
We don't have to worry about that.
Great.
We don't have to worry about Milwaukee.
I don't think so. There's no value on that one.
No. So, I mean, Bobby Portis is out 25 games. He just got suspended for drugs. So
he did.
Yeah. He was using an anti-inflammatory drug that wasn't allowed. Why he was using it, I have no idea. But he's out 25 games.
Swelling or something. What do you mean?
Sure. I don't know why he was using it, but he was using it. Boston's at Philly tonight. You want to lay 7 with Boston on the road? I don't.
I don't even want to touch any game today in the NBA. After what we just saw, I have no idea what anybody was doing, where they were, how they this is one of the best nights to be the book. You just put up the numbers and let the stuff fly.
Okay.
This is great. The Lakers are 3.5 at Portland. Windows are open. Come on in, lay it. Who cares? This is Orlando at Atlanta. What? Who was doing anything? Orlando's favored at Atlanta. Do you think Orlando was doing like practice for 2 days and then went down to Atlanta and hung out and stayed home? Probably Atlanta is heard is a great place to go to visit clubs. And I'm not talking like the ping pong club. I'm not talking about that club. I'm talking about other places. These are great.
What's the number for Phoenix at San Antonio now? It was 2, but what is it now that Wembanyama's out?
It's only 2.5.
So they knew ahead of time.
San Antonio was a 2-point favorite. Now
it's flipped to Phoenix
is
-3.
2.5. Yeah.
You want to fade?
But why
San
the hell
Antonio?
would you bet? Yeah, why would you bet San Antonio?
That's a stunning. They trade for De'Aaron Fox. They think they're going to make a little noise, shut Wembanyama down for the rest of the year. That locker room's going to be stunned tonight.
That's a bummer.
Yep. They got to be like, what?
I just got a Wemby jersey too.
Right?
It just came in the mail. I'm pretty excited about it. Yeah.
He's out for the rest of the year.
Charlotte at Denver tonight. Look at these games, P-Roll. What are we doing?
LA.
17.5.
How about, I didn't touch those games. How about the Lakers laying 3 at Portland after their loss last night? Only team on a back-to-back.
Painfully obvious to me. They're going to bet the Lakers because they can't
lose
2 in a row.
This number,
nights I'd love being a book.
You made mention of this.
Whoa!
This is wild.
What is that?
LeBron James, since joining the Lakers, with a game-tying or go-ahead field goal attempt in the final 5 seconds of a fourth quarter game or overtime, is 1 and 29 shooting the basketball. If you were 1 for 29, if you were 1 for 29 doing anything,
yeah,
you wouldn't be it's coaching malpractice to keep on going back to that. I know it's LeBron, but why is LeBron James shooting in key moments for the Lakers?
Last night, down 3, right? They go to shoot. He gets the ball, and they clear out. He shoots it, and then they rebound, and he shoots it again. With Luka on the wing, it would have been a perfect time in a makeup game against Charlotte to defer the last shot. Now, they're going to come at him because then he doesn't take the last shot. Who cares?
Who cares? Skip Bayless is gone. So stop worrying about Skip Bayless.
Right. Who cares?
Right.
This is the perfect opportunity to say, draw it up, give it to Luka.
But he was, and Brandon's right, Luka wasn't exactly hitting shots either. He was cold last night too.
Oh, was he?
Yeah,
Thank you,
but
Brandon.
I get the point. It's, Kobe would never. Something to be said for that, I don't know. It just seems to me like we're consistently going back to letting LeBron, and we're expecting a different result whenever the game's on the line for LeBron with the Lakers to shoot clutch shots, and he's not hitting clutch shots with the Lakers, at least not recently. 1 for 29 is 1 for 29.
That's I mean, I don't know how.
I'm bad at math, but I can tell you that's bad.
Right.
That's not good. That's bad.
Listen, what he's doing at 40 is amazing.
Correct. Unbelievable. Right. In fact, he's still in the league is incredible.
He's putting up points, almost a triple-double, on a regular. It's very impressive.
But
there's times where it's this isn't working. They needed, I'm not saying they needed that game last night, but it's going to really help the Lakers to get a better seed. The West is going to be a gauntlet. Them playing on the road the whole way, it's going to be tough. No matter what they say, they're not the Celtics. The Celtics are going to have a home series, and then they'll be on the road twice. Okay. The Lakers will start on the road. If they don't get the 4 seed, it's going to be tough.
2 industry stories to get to. Let's start with the first one being in the state of Iowa. There is a bill that is now picking up steam to make proxy sports betting illegal. The intent is to protect the public from falling victim to deceptive practices, according to the Iowa Department of Safety. Now, I need you to correct me if I'm wrong, Dave. Isn't this already illegal? Isn't proxy betting already, is it state by state with this, or is it federally illegal?
No, state by state.
So in the state of Iowa, which has had obviously really big problems with kids using their parents' accounts, athletes using their parents' accounts, which got them suspended and kicked out of college, this seems like this would be an open and shut case. This could be pretty easy. This should pass, should it not?
Depends who's behind it. All of these things, this will really help the books. This will really hurt the people who use people's accounts. So depending on the lobbyist and the steam behind it, I don't know if
let me read you this.
They want to pass it.
It'll help the conversation. This is SSB 1097. It's identical to a House Bill 21, which took its small steps in January to become part law. In short, both bills would define account sharing and proxy betting that is intended to conceal someone's identity as illegal gambling. Offenders would be subject to criminal penalties, including jail time and fines.
Wow.
Iowa's sports wagering rules already prohibit account sharing and proxy betting, but this legislation proposing to criminalize that activity is intended to, quote, protect the public from falling victim to deceptive practices. That according to a memo that came out from the Iowa Department of Public Safety. So they're going to criminalize it. It's already illegal to do proxy betting, but they're going to criminalize it now where you're going to serve jail time for doing it.
They're going to be able to tell who pushed the buttons.
Well, they can now because, I mean, there's not a lot of in-person betting going on in Iowa. It's mostly all mobile.
Well, I know, but they're going to be able to tell who pushed the buttons?
Well, I guess it's your device, so you would be responsible for the account. If you are on if Dave Sherapen's on Matt Peralt's phone, it's on me for allowing somebody else to be using my account. But how do we prove that I bet it and not you? You bet it, not me. How do they prove that? I don't know. But it would be more like
if I have an account in Iowa and I live in Iowa,
right,
and you are back east,
and I'm sending you money
that Iowa has it, you tell me to do it, I can do it. They can't track that,
right? But they'd have to track the transmission and or the order, if you will, like a text message, me saying bet Drake tonight or something.
And they're not doing that. There's too much to that. Now, if I just deposit 100,000 in my account and I start betting 5 dimes a game, is that going to set off the alarm? Are they going to start looking at my account going, okay, what's Dave doing now? Who's he doing that for? Because that's not him.
Right. Our guy Joe Brennan is quoted in this story from a tweet he put out saying, not a wise policy being pursued in Iowa, criminalizing proxy betting. If operators don't want it, they can handle it in their terms and conditions and ban people. Most do. But states have a compelling interest to get more betting liquidity into the regulated market.
Right. Handle's going to drop.
Account sharing is defined as entering into or participating in an agreement between 2 or more persons to either temporarily or permanently share access to a person's account with the purpose of concealing a person's identity. Proxy betting, meanwhile, is defined as any wagering or betting activity, including a request of another to engage in wagering or betting activity involving 2 or more persons, where one person places a wager on behalf of another person with the intent to hide or conceal the bettor's identity.
Right. It's going to be very.
Police this? How do you police this?
Well, I mean, you do what Joe B said. You have to ban them. That's why the Massachusetts Gaming Control Board is doing a great job, but they're not asking the right questions. Why do people get banned? Because they're skirting the rules and they're getting around, circumventing limits. They're betting for people that would normally get 5 dimes a game, but if they can get 10 accounts to get 5 dimes a game without moving the line because they're perceived as not a winning bettor, they'll do it and they'll get 50,000 on the game. So it's very, one, hard to police. Two, if you don't know what to ask, then you don't necessarily police the right thing. Butchie's in here. Butchie's living in a different world, but he knows how to do it. You get a
Yeah.
burner phone, you can do other things. It's very simple. Burner phone to the rescue. I mean, you tell me, shh, you're sitting here typing it, Butchie. I mean, it's ways to do it. Now,
Someone
you
gets
might
made.
see an influx of female bettors in Iowa.
It's the anti-beard bill. Yes, that's what it's called. The anti-beard bill. But don't you think they would make an example of somebody?
Oh,
Like the only way, if this passed, the only way this would stop people is if they throw the book at somebody. They got to go round up. They got to go and have search warrants, wiretaps, all sorts of, like, they got to build a case on some group that's in Iowa and then bury them and send them all to jail for a decade to stop this from happening. Because you can't stop it. You can only try to make people scared that if they get caught, you can't stop this from happening on a day-to-day basis. You cannot stop this from happening.
no.
It'll be some college kid, maybe, might be, but it probably will be somebody that's not from the state of Iowa. I live there. Iowans love to destroy other people. If you're breaking the law and you're not from Iowa, they'll throw the book at you. You're from Iowa, they may look the other way.
They ruined those kids, those college kids.
They weren't from Iowa. They played for Iowa, but that was one rogue guy that did it. That was a rogue agent. That was not. If that guy was going through proper channels, he would have been stopped like 15 times. Somebody would be like, "What are you doing to Iowa State football players? Leave him alone. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing?" He geo-targeted the whole athletic department by himself. Like, made his own rules.
I think that will make it. If this passes, will it pass in another state?
We asked the question yesterday with Vermont. Yes, I do think that states are copycat. So yes, I do think that if Vermont were to repeal, hypothetically, right, and Iowa was the state that I used for the example of of a state that could wind up pulling back sports gambling one day. If Vermont did it, I could see Iowa doing it. Yes, if Iowa passed, I could see Vermont doing it, or somebody else doing it, and copying Iowa and saying, "Well, they just did it." Missouri's about to go legal. I can see Missouri copying it in 2 seconds, saying, "Hey, Iowa did it. We should do it here in Missouri as well."
Chicago Kristen asking, good question. Iowa, Kansas City mob, Chicago mob. Who is the back person they want with this bill?
Good question.
You have to ask questions like that because
Most likely it's Chicago. Knowing Iowa, it's Chicago.
Yeah, and listen,
a lot of people that ran things from Des Moines to Chicago. I-80 is a very interesting road between Iowa and Des Moines, between Chicago and Des Moines. A lot of fun things are on that highway between the two cities.
So that'll eliminate the ability to do that. Where are they going to go? It's not like they're going to stop betting sports. They're not going to,
right.
They're going to go back to the street. They're going to go back to the.
Well, if you're on the eastern side of the state, you're going to Illinois. If you're on the western side of the state, you're going to Nebraska. If you're in the northern part of the state, you're going to Minnesota. Minnesota's not legal yet. So we kind of have to go to Illinois, got to go over, got to go to the east. And then southern, you would have your pick of Missouri, Kansas, wherever you want to go.
I don't know.
To the south.
You go back to the street and calling a guy, and
that too.
That too. Like there's ways to do it. Is it the book's obligation to do this?
Obligation? I mean, I think Joe's
because
right.
If you make this a law, you're going to become a police officer as well as a bookmaker,
right?
Because you gotta give them all your stuff, or you got to make sure if you got a suspicion that somebody's doing something that's not the person that says they are, you're going to have to. I mean, if you want to press charges, you can't just shut them off from your business. Now you have to give them the information. It's asking a lot of the book when you start to put this criminal prosecution on the customer. For years, the bookies had to worry about getting busted for bookmaking, money laundering, all the other stuff getting knocked on the door for taking bets. Now you got to take the bets, try to earn about 8 to 10% on doing it, and know where the money's coming from. and know when they're using that account and it's not that person. It's a lot.
Well, one little bit of reprieve. Representative Titus is back again trying to repeal the excise tax for a fourth time.
Damn.
She is trying to take this off the books to eliminate the tax on sports wagering, which, if you really stop and think about it, is somewhat outdated. In the book, if this gets repealed, if the U.S. federal tax on excise tax on sports gambling gets repealed, how much of a difference does this make to the bottom line?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if it's, I mean, the books that are taking bets, like for real,
Okay.
it will help.
Because they're holding the money, they're being taxed on the money, and they got to pay tax whether they win or lose that bet. They got to pay tax on that money.
Yeah.
So if you're holding future wagers of a big number, you're paying tax on that money, and they're frustrated. And to be quite honest, it is somewhat ridiculous that you're paying tax on something whether it wins or loses.
Yeah. I don't know how much of a big deal this will get within the industry. And, 3 strikes, you're out. She's trying a fourth time. It's noble, but nobody cares. Like they won't make it a big deal. Will it be a big deal? Yeah. For, again, the books that are doing volume and taking bets, the little guys, this will help. It's another, expense off the thing, but
yeah. So they tried it in 19, 21, and 23. They have tried this. This was a 1950s era tax put in place on lawful sports books, mostly in Nevada. The tax mandates licensed sports betting operators pay a 25-cent tax, 0.25% tax, on their gross amount that's been bet. There's also a $50 tax per year for each employee working in a sports book. Currently, 38 states and Washington, D.C. have legalized some form of sports betting, and they're all paying this tax, but primarily it's Nevada. That's why you have Dina Titus, who is from Nevada, being the one that's really trying to push this. She tweeted out this week that she has reintroduced legislation to eliminate the outdated tax on legalized sports wagering. The tax put in place in 1951 to help prosecute illegal bookies who did not pay taxes. Today, it only helps illegal operators attract more customers. Do you agree with that?
so if you do $1 billion in handle,
Yep.
it's $2.5 million.
Not nothing.
It's not nothing, but $1 billion in handle.
FanDuel.
It's $2.5 million. They do $1 billion in a month. Like their numbers are absurd.
Yeah, but see, it's still $2.5 million every month. That's a lot.
It keeps everybody off your back. It's
$30 million a year. That's a lot of money. It's still $30 million a year.
I know.
You're paying $2.5 million a month in taxes, $30 million a year. It's not nothing.
Again, I understand the fight.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how big of a deal this is like for the people. They got other things that they would make a much bigger splash going about getting rid of or doing.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Interesting. I'll be curious to see if this passes because from a Nevada standpoint, the number one thing, and I learned this a couple of years ago, maybe 5 years ago or whatever, but I was in I don't know what I was at, something in Nevada where Dina Titus was there, and she said, "I've asked the federal government to tell me where the excise tax money is going, and they don't know. They don't know." She's asked, "Can you tell me that when my constituents in Nevada, when they are being taxed, where is that money being used around the country? Because I would like to see that, is it coming back to Nevada? Is it helping us with our roads? Is it helping us with our federal, sewers or whatever you guys are paying for, our airports and whatnot? Or is it going into a big vat of money and nobody knows where it goes?" And she has said, they have repeatedly not told me that the money goes into the budget to go pay for X. She's like, "Tell me where our excise dollars go." And they're like, "No, we're not telling you." She's like, "So you don't know." Like, you don't know where the money's going. So when I heard that, I was like, "Oh man, that's not good."
It's a Nevada thing.
Yeah. But they've paid the vast majority. I mean, since 1951, Nevada has paid the lion's share of this. So
Correct.
it's been unfairly punitive towards the
It
operators
has.
in Nevada.
It has. But the fact that you don't know where it's at is really annoying.
Mm-hmm. Like, show me where the money's
Slush
going.
fund.
Like, but like, even she said this. She was like, "Look, it's okay if you took the excise tax dollars and you're saying that goes into the general appropriations fund. Okay, just tell me that." They won't even do that. They wouldn't tell her anywhere. They wouldn't tell her at all.
Well, I mean,
where the money
again,
goes.
and the other thing is, they could ask her where her money goes, and she don't want to tell them. So, again, it's I don't know. It's a thing that's discussed. Again, there's more fights to fight. It's not that important.
Aaron Boone signed a 2-year extension.
Yankee fans excited about this?
They're not. They hate him. Why?
Why?
They hate Aaron Boone. They really do. They hate Aaron Boone. I mean, I don't love Aaron Boone. I mean, I'm a Red Sox fan. I'm not I got my own history with this guy, but he's made 3 trips to the American League Championship Series. He's made 1 World Series appearance in 7 years. And Yankee fans act like this guy is the worst manager ever to walk the face of the earth.
Why?
I don't know. It's awesome. I love it.
I think he's engaging with the media.
He is.
I think I would love to play for him. If he was my manager, I would feel like he would have my back most times.
They believe he's a puppet for the front office, that Brian Cashman tells him what to do and he listens. There you go. Boone is the yes man for Cashman. There's the opinion.
I don't know. I had the pleasure of hanging out with him for an afternoon. He was in the book I was working at, and this was before the Yankee job. Just hanging out, and I was the only person in the book that recognized him. We started talking baseball, one of his trips to the window, and I took my lunch and went out. He was sitting by himself, and we just talked. It was so cool. And then he got the Yankee job a year later, and I said, I went and told my wife, I'm like, that guy he's a hateable guy. Why, JC from KC?
Because here's Yankee fan Garrett Brown. Yankees didn't take infield in the playoffs last year, and their defense is what let them down.
So
have you seen the Dodger fan bumper sticker that's going viral?
No.
Where it says 5-0 Yankees from the game in game 1 in the World Series?
No.
It's the new 28-3 is what they're calling it. It's the new. You had a 5-0 lead in game 1 of the World Series and you blew it.
Judge dropped the ball. So many things went bad. I don't know. Would they be happy with anybody?
I don't know. Maybe. Yankee fans want to win, right? So I think if they had won last year, I think people probably would feel differently. Oh my gosh, how about this? My brother-in-law was roommates with Aaron Boone.
How about that?
JC from KC. Maybe he does know why he's a hateable guy.
Oh.
He's got history with him.
Oh.
He knows the dirt of Aaron
There's
Boone.
beef.
All right. That's it. Like 28-3. Yeah, it is a little bit messed up. Should be football. Butchie is a little messed up, but it's true.
So does he have to win a World Series?
Yes. It's the Yankees.
Stop. Wow.
I don't think it stops even with the World Series. I don't think it stops it. No, my Yankee friends hate him. They think he's horrible. They win. The line is the Yankees are winning despite Aaron Boone. He hurts them, not helps them.
Because what? He doesn't change the pitchers at the right time.
That's why? The biggest criticism is his inability to handle in-game decisions, because he's told what to think any other time, but in-game he makes his own decisions, and that's why he can't do it. He falls down all the time.
In the playoffs every year. I don't know.
Get my Jordan 1s ready for a Yankee run, man.
Oh, yeah. You got those Yankee Jordans.
Oh, right. I forgot.
Yeah, you got those Yankee Jordans. That's right.
Where are they running to, Brandon? Where are they running to?
To the World Series.
Off a cliff? Where are they going? Where are they running to? I'm not worried.
Santana did his job. There it is. Anyone laying minus 450 on the Dodgers to win the NL West. Shop around. Thank you, Santana, for being here as always. I don't know. Yankees are making the playoffs.
Of course. Yes.
They're making the playoffs, so he's going to be around. He signed another 2-year extension. Nothing's happening. So, Yankee fans, either like him or not, he's not going anywhere. So why
I just
not?
love the fact the Yankees have to live in a world like we have all lived with the Yankees for eons. They're being outspent. They can't stockpile talent. They're not the pick du jour of everybody in baseball. Everyone's picking the Dodgers. Everyone wants to play in Los Angeles. I mean, our guy Tommy Lorenzo had a great tweet today. He was listening to the Yankee broadcast, and who do you call it?
Michael K.
Michael K said, "On what world is Shohei Ohtani a better player than Aaron Judge?"
Yeah.
Tommy said, "Earth."
Right.
I went,
I loved it.
Earth.
I loved it.
I mean, are we really questioning that? You really think that Aaron Judge is a better baseball player than Shohei Ohtani? I mean, come on.
Might say it.
Come on. That's ridiculous. Baseball player, not hitter. Baseball player.
Is he a better fielder?
Better fielder. He pitches. Like he pitches. Like,
well, I know, but like when Shohei plays the outfield, he doesn't. So, I mean, some people will make the argument that at least, Judge plays the field.
Yeah, but Shohei pitches, though. I take a pitcher hitter over an outfielder who can't stay healthy. That's not even.
It was a good tweet.
It's a good tweet for Tommy. I agree. All right, you've been waiting on this. Come 2029.
Oh, my God.
The NFL could make a deal with Netflix for the Sunday afternoon games. They could opt out in 4 years. They can opt out of their current arrangement and offer it up for a bid. Netflix is telling the NFL to do that. And we could see it by 2030. We may have network broadcast for like one game a week. Like Sunday Night Football on NBC might be the only game on broadcast television. Everything else is on streaming.
I thought expanding the NCAA tournament was a bad idea. What are we doing? We're making it harder to watch the games. Sounds like a really good idea. With everything going on with the NFL and the game becoming homogenized, the players not being, I don't want to say fatigue of certain teams, guys, all this other stuff. And now we got to get Netflix to watch the Sunday afternoon games.
Jimmy, you can say this, but Amazon and Netflix have so much money.
Oh, baby.
They can knock out any offer. They can offer money that both CBS and Fox won't be able to match. I mean, if we get into a bidding war, those are the two companies you don't want to go up against. I mean, Netflix just raised their rates again. It's $18 a month now. For basic Netflix. Like they are,
Tell me the upside to this.
Well,
I can't see it.
I think the upside to it is the NFL is going to try to maximize, and younger people are watching more and more things on their devices. And so it doesn't really matter. The whole idea of
people aren't watching the football, period.
Young people are watching. Yes, they are. Sure, they are.
So?
Yeah. They're betting it. They're watching it and they're betting it. I mean, that's, depends on what you consider a young person, but sub 30-year-old people are betting it and watching it and being a part of it. So they'll find the games. I mean, look, our guy Bet Caddy, our friend Tony, just won the award today.
Yep.
For his ability and what his whole tagline is this, that everyone wants to watch. I mean, they want to watch their bets. They want to watch their games. So Bet Caddy is trying to find ways that you can watch things when you make a play, you make a bet, you sync your sports book, and then it tells you what's going on. You could watch that game in that moment when your player is up or the game's about to be over. So streaming comes down to latency. It comes down to internet speed, and it comes down to whether or not your computer, your TV, has a faster processor than what they have now. So you can switch channels and go back and forth quickly. So that's the difference. I mean, I saw a really interesting thing that broke down why are older people angry at Gen Z, Gen X, and Gen Alpha for spending money on things that they consider to be luxuries. And not to go all deep into it, basically talking about the price of televisions, where when we were growing up, if you had like 4 TVs in your house, you would be looked at a little bit crooked. Like, man, what do you need 4 TVs in your house for? Like, why are you spending all this money? because televisions, when we were growing up, TVs were expensive.
Mm-hmm.
You could buy a big TV right now for $300.
Mm-hmm.
48-inch, 60-inch. You can get a really big television set for only like $300 or $400. So you can spend, to get 3 big, flat screen TVs in your house. You can have it be the same price as what one TV would have cost us growing up, where it was $1,000 or $1,500.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all about the speed. Like you're right about switching, but if you get a fast enough computer in your TV, you can switch pretty fast back and forth. It's then your internet's got to be caught up to it as well. So it's kind of like you have to learn how to build it so it works. Oh my gosh, Santana, you get Netflix in the mail still? Holy crap. He gets CDs mailed? Who does that? But it helps the younger audience. It makes it more frustrating for the older audience. There's no debating it. Older people are going to get more and more frustrated about the number of different
Ask your
things.
kids in your class when you come back, how many of them watch the NFL and how do they watch it?
Every guy does. We've already talked about it.
Okay.
Every guy does. And every guy watches it on their phone.
Okay.
They don't watch it at home. They watch it on their phone or their computer. So
they're what are they watching though? They're watching network games. Are they switching? Yeah. They have YouTube TV on their phone. They're watching multiple games like we watch them.
It's a good question because I think a lot of them are watching it passively. I don't know if they're
I don't think
glued.
they're watching. That's what
they're
I mean.
glued to the game the same way. I know 2 of my kids bet, so they watch the games and they're paying attention. Mostly they're doing it for their fantasy football and their bets. Like
that's all they're watching it for.
But that's
the young kids aren't.
A lot of guys do that too, though.
The game. They're not watching the game. They're watching it literally
for their own place. Yes, but that's not that uncommon. That's why sports gambling going legalized. The NFL was so gung ho with that because people only care about their own selfish nature, whatever that they get played.
If they have to have Netflix to do it,
I don't think they're
going to do it.
I don't think. I think your generation cares. I think people who are older will have a big problem because they want to switch quickly and just have their typical cable, how cable has always been, because that's the way it's always been. But like our kids don't know any better. Like Madeline and Kendall don't watch ABC; they watch YouTube.
Yeah, but they don't. I don't think they're ever going to watch the NFL.
They might if they like football. I mean, I think Madeline's not a football watcher. She doesn't like football, so she's not going to watch it.
I think a lot of kids are in that boat. They don't watch football like we used to watch football. Yeah. I think you got to be very careful.
Watching it on his phone. That's Christian right there.
Christian Hastings. I'm 24, mainly watching on my phone. I also have kids, and I also bet. Okay.
Yeah. So I think people watching on their phone, it's an app. It doesn't matter where it is. My point is, I don't think the NFL's banking that people don't care which app you press because I'll be frank.
Oh, they don't.
I've watched. I was given a subscription to Paramount TV. I was given a subscription to Peacock. I now watch both of those apps because I don't pay for it now. I'm giving them free. So I don't care if the NFL was on one of those. Okay, I'd be on there and watching it. It wouldn't matter. Whether it be Amazon or whether it be Netflix or whether it be YouTube TV, those are all just apps on my phone and they're all apps on my TV. So like I'm just flipping back and forth. Again, that's why I have the Sunday ticket because on YouTube TV, I can have 4 games on one screen, 4 games on another screen. So that's why I do.
Yeah, so you won't have that availability for Netflix.
Sure, they will. If Netflix takes the Sunday games, sure. I mean, it depends on what they buy, right? Netflix could buy the Sunday ticket. YouTube TV just has it right now.
Well, if it says Sunday afternoon games,
that's the national
show the late window games.
Correct, but I've never watched these games on CBS right now. I don't watch these games. I watch YouTube TV because I've got the Sunday ticket. So, what does Netflix buy?
They make it exclusive. The 1 o'clock games out west or the 4 o'clock.
They can't do that though because you're going to pull it away from
the
Sunday ticket. You can't. You could, but you pull it away from the Sunday ticket. YouTube TV is not going to pay if I can't watch the Sunday window on YouTube TV and watch all the games. It's going to be a big fight as to who has what. So that's my point. Netflix could have the Sunday ticket. Netflix might have it all by then in 2029. They may get the YouTube TV package and get the Sunday ticket package. So how it all goes, is it different from having to buy cable to get ESPN? No, but it's the delivery of it. The latency is what Dave doesn't like. You can't change the channel nearly as fast. It's just the technology is not there yet to make it the way it used to be. It worked easier.
What's happened with sports up to this point with however you consume it. They made it harder to watch the games.
Yeah.
You lost a generation of fans in certain sports because you made it harder to watch the games. People loved boxing back in the day. You know why? It was on Saturdays in the afternoon and stuff. You made it harder and harder. Now, the pay-per-view events are always going to be pay-per-view events. A Sunday afternoon slate of NFL games, if you're going to make people pay after 100 years of not paying,
well, you do
and
pay
knowing
for it.
where to find it,
You do pay for it. You pay your cable bill, so you pay for it.
I understand. But now to specifically watch the games, I think you're going to turn people off, and I think you're going to lose people from watching the games. That's all.
Yeah, I'll be curious. I mean, we lost 2% of the audience last year. It was NFL ratings were down 2% last year. So the excuse has been that they drop every election year. They always drop. Okay, that may be true. So we'll see if it bounces back next year.
They blame it on the election.
Yeah, that's what the blame has been. It's the election's fault. That's why the numbers have dropped down. So we'll see what next year. If it bounces back next year, then that is fair. That would be something you could say, okay, there's evidence that happened. But right now, we got to see. So it is 2%. It did go down last year. The ratings for the NFL did drop, which, the more danger that they get. They can't drop by much, considering how much money that they're asking for from these properties.
Who's Figueroa? Get us out here. I want to bring up Figueroa Ruli's chat.
Sweet. Tomorrow, guys, Roll Call Friday. Looking forward to seeing all you guys here. If you're on the replay crew, thank you for being here. We appreciate you guys. Leave a comment. Come over to our YouTube channel. Subscribe at Boston versus the Book. If you're watching live, you guys get bonus time right now. You want to get Figueroa?
Figueroa Ruli, including USA versus Canada this year with HQ and many extra options. Just check it. Screen Variety TV. I don't know Figueroa, but thank you for being here. We'll have to check this out.
I don't understand. Including
Screen Variety TV must be a new service or something. I've never seen.
Well, I mean, remember, it died because we were supposed to have a conglomeration of ESPN, NBC, and CBS. I believe were the three companies that were coming together to offer one sports package. You would pay one rate.
Fubo, or was that what they were going to combine or something?
Yeah, all that with Fubo and joining, and then it fell apart at the last minute, and so because they were worried about antitrust. Venue Sports, thank you, Sonic. Yes,
Venue Sports,
supposed to be a Venue Sports thing that fell apart, and so they are at least thinking about this idea of, well, sports fans don't care about the cooking channel, and sports fans don't care about Outdoor Network and all these other things. So why don't we give them just one subscription to just get sports? And that's hard to do because of all the different splintering that's gone on in the sports world.
I mean, you see what Ross Randall just said in the chat? I don't watch any of the prime or streaming games. I won't chase the NFL or any sport.
Fair.
I don't know how old you are, Ross, but some would call you an old head.
But if you're going to watch hockey, if you're going to watch the ESPN Plus and watch hockey, you're paying for that to go and do that. So yeah, but they dropped it. Fubo was suing, the one suing Venue, but they stopped because Fubo got the deal done. So they could have gone forward with it, but CBS dropped out. So once it kind of looked like the federal government was going to get involved and say, you guys can't do this, CBS dropped out and it killed the whole thing. So there was a lot of, it was questionable to just have all these things come together. There's a lot of questions about they were going around the carriers. I mean, look at cable companies are still trying to stay alive, like for as long as they can. So they're not going to go down without a fight. Like they're going to do, if you do a group to say, okay, we're going to repackage all of our stuff and send it, around the cable company, the cable companies are going to go down, are going to go down to the courtroom and start filing lawsuits to protect their business.
I still think that for the most part, the sports is the last thing, though, that people will pay 100%. For, fight for.
Because it's the only thing live. It's the last thing that's live.
It's the only thing that people watch live.
Do you watch anything? Did you wait for anything that comes out? Any non-sport issue that comes out? Do you watch it the night it comes out?
She got me watching this Deal or No Deal Island show.
Okay. Yep.
And it's on Tuesdays.
Uh-huh.
So we've watched a couple live on Tuesday nights.
Wait for it.
No. So when we watched it live, Jess is like, fast forward. I'm like, we're watching it live.
You can't do it, right?
She don't want to do it no more. We did it twice and said,
That's
I'm not
great.
doing it.
Right.
And now, the way the last one left a cliffhanger, we didn't watch this Tuesday, but
Right.
she was like, you know what? We should just wait until it's all done and then just watch it.
Speed
back
watch
to
it.
back
It's
to
like
back.
it's
And she
She's not
saying
wrong.
it was like, and Kendall was going, that's the way you should watch it.
Well, I mean, White Lotus, the new season of White Lotus came out, and I didn't see season 2. I saw season 1, but we watched it. Amanda and I watched it, and then I was like, okay, go to episode 2. And she's like, no, it comes out once a week. And I was like, well, that sucks.
Right.
It was really annoying. Like I was like, I want to just blow through everything. So because I'm watching Yellowstone, and there's 5 seasons of Yellowstone, and I'm through season 3, now on to season 4. And I'm just watching one after another, after another, after another. It's just how TV now, we're just expected to be that way. And so when it's not, you're like, oh, I gotta wait. Because two of my kids, I asked the question because 2 of my kids, I asked that in my class. Did anybody actually like watch a show and wait? And they're like, yeah. When Severance comes out on Friday nights, I wait for it to drop and then I watch it right away. I'm like, you do what? They're like, yeah, like we love that show. I was like, okay. I was like, I guess that show's got the kids.
So for diehards, I mean, they will do stuff for that. We got guys in the chat saying they pay for SEC Network during, this season, or they pay for ACC Network so they can watch their teams, Big Ten Network. It's fine. Like, I just think the NFL has to be very careful with making it. Netflix is going to come with the money, boys. Like, whether they get off of CBS or Fox.
Right. The arrogance is pretty high. Like, they believe that they don't have to worry about anyone.
Oh.
And we'll see.
That's why they're having games in Australia.
And games everywhere. Brazil, they're opening up. Chargers are going to Brazil. Yeah. So you're a Charger fan, your team's opening up in Brazil. You can enjoy that. A quick one for Better to I only have one play tonight. I'm not touching college basketball. Team total over 2.5 goals. Team USA.
I like it. I think that's a bet. 3-2, 3-1. It's probably the final of this game. I like the game under. But what is that? Is that current, that number right now?
Boys last
in the
night?
Chat? Yeah.
Let's see what FanDuel had it let's see what the FanDuel number is right now live. For team total for this game tonight. Let's see.
Look at this poll. We got USA 52%, Team Canada 48%. Wow, it's gonna be great.
2.5 minus 128.
Okay.
So pretty much current.
Standard, yeah.
For
good
130, 128 on that for Team USA.
Like it.
Favorite thing about today is what?
The game, obviously, and hockey, period. Like, I cannot wait. And again, if you've never watched a hockey game, watch it tonight. If you watched a casual fan, watch it tonight. Just root for the game to be good. I think the pregame, the hype, the anthem, all of it, Boston's going to show up, show out. It's going to be great. But the text and things that I got from people within my world and community in Pittsburgh last night, Mike Lang, voice of the Penguins. He did the games for 46 years. He showed up apparently in 1974 and started doing the games on the radio. I started playing hockey in 1974. Wow. It was the first time I put on skates and started playing on a team in 1975, and the Penguins were my team and my whole world. I used to go to sleep listening to games with Mike Lang talking about the Penguins. He started he was there when they were bad. And as it went, and it just, the Penguins were terrible, 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 worst team in the league. And then Mario Lemieux showed up from Quebec, Laval, Quebec, and changed the whole franchise around. And Mike Lang was there for the good part and talked about winning Stanley Cups. And he had all these sayings, from starting the broadcast to it's a hockey night in Pittsburgh to ending the game with Elvis has left the building. And passed away yesterday. So it reminded so many of us who just got the opportunity to listen to the guy show up and work every day. He was there, good, bad, and different. He was at banquets. I used to hang out at a joint up in Dormont in outside of Pittsburgh, a bar. Mike was there a lot. Mike liked to partake in a lot of, things. So he held court there many times. And then when I got into the business and was an intern, he could have been nicer to a young kid from Pittsburgh who was just happy to be in the building. And, he'd see me at practice and give me a little thing, head nod and stuff. So 76 years old, he lived a pretty good life. And he'll, they say legends never die. He had so many sayings and different things. He really was a legend. He was my favorite announcer growing up, gone. So it was just a reminder that, again, be happy with the things you're doing. Memories are good. Tell people you love them when they're around. And my favorite thing about today is that hockey gets the forefront today.
Really does. And it's funny. Do you consider steak tips to be a New England dish? If I tell you, if I say steak tips, so it's really a weird thing. So like people not from New England, they believe that like clam chowder and lobster, like those are the dishes that people like most closely associate with New England. Like, but people who are from New England, we say steak tips are the thing that we are the most excited about.
Really?
So yeah. So it's a special type of cut of meat. It's a special type of, so tonight there's a place here in Manchester for the game tonight. I cannot wait. We're going to get in steak, not tube steak, not steak tits. Not, you guys are great. Just the tip, steak tits and tube steak. No, steak tips.
What are you people doing? He said tips with a P.
You guys are amazing. So we're going to a place to get that for dinner tonight for the game. So I cannot wait to go and grab that because I haven't had it yet.
Are you getting it and bringing it home?
Oh, of course. Yeah. We got to watch the game here. I'm not going out to watch the game. I want to sit. I want to watch all 3 periods.
Right.
Literally from the second the anthems begin all the way into the end. I want to have as many things, I want food, drink, fun. I'm on a plane tomorrow to fly back to it's my last time being in the cold here for a while. Maybe the whole winter time coming in here. So gonna have some fun and enjoy just the tips. Yes, where I review steak. Why not? Yeah, let's go ahead and review that. It would be a lot of fun. It would be good. So.
How do you get the tips done?
Medium.
Okay.
Just sirloin steak tips that are marinated most often overnight in like either a barbecue sauce or some type of marinade, and then grilled.
Okay.
They're very much a New England thing. Us people from New England, we always talk about who has the best steak tips. And people argue all the time about how to do it, when to do it.
It sounded like you said tits on that one. It really did. I just heard it. I was like, did he say what? No, he said
see, Vinny, yeah, steak tips and mashed potatoes. Let's do it. We're all in. Sorry, I'm making you guys hungry, but food tonight. Enjoy the game, everybody. It should be a ton of fun. We're back tomorrow for a roll call Friday. He is Dave. I am Matt. Go Team USA. Let's go
for 4 nations tonight.